We see it today as a silent staple on morning toast and high-end brunch menus. But beneath this leathery skin lies a million-year-old story written in survival, imperial ambition, and agrarian gold. California called it green gold, a fruit that transformed arid hillsides into empires of agricultural wealth. Yet its existence is a biological miracle that almost never happened. Slice into its velvet core and you step back through time. You hold a botanical anomaly that survived the extinction of giant beasts and the collapse of ancient worlds. Before human hands ever cultivated a single seed, this plant made a desperate evolutionary wager on giants that have long since turned to dust. To the Maya and the Aztecs, it was not merely food, it was sacred flesh, a symbol of fertility, strength, and the raw life force of the earth. Conquistadors wrote of it in wonder, scribbling descriptions of vegetable butter into leather-bound logs before transporting the seeds across global trade routes. When disaster struck the early California groves, freezing nearly every imported strain, one singular survivor stood untouched in the frost, changing agricultural history forever. But taste alone was not enough. It took one of the most aggressive and ingenious marketing rebrands in modern history to turn an exotic curiosity into an everyday icon. Today, it is a multi-billion-dollar global commodity. This is the saga of the emerald tear, how an evolutionary orphan became the undisputed king of the Golden Coast. 10,000 years ago, the Central American jungle was home to a plant that made no scientific sense for small animals to consume. The avocado evolved specifically for megafauna. Creatures like the gomphotherium possessed throats wide enough to swallow the massive pit entirely. In exchange for a rich, oily meal, these ancient giants carried the seed inland, dispersing it across vast ecological corridors that smaller animals could never cross. Then, at the end of the Pleistocene epoch, catastrophe struck. The megafauna vanished forever, leaving the avocado without its primary evolutionary partner. Botanically, the avocado became an anachronism, an evolutionary ghost stranded in a world that no longer had animals big enough to disperse its seeds. Without intervention, the species was doomed to slow extinction, trapped within the narrow geographical radius where dropped fruits happen to fall. Enter the ultimate ecological substitute, early human hunter-gatherers. Attracted by the dense energy of the oily flesh, humans took up the mantle of the extinct giants. Over thousands of years, nomadic tribes transformed from opportunistic gatherers into deliberate cultivators, selecting seeds from trees with the creamiest flesh. By saving the avocado from the brink of extinction, humanity reshaped the fruit's destiny, crafting a dense source of vital fats that would nourish entire civilizations. In the high heartlands of Mesoamerica, the avocado became central to the empire. The Aztecs called it āhuacatl, a word loaded with cultural and symbolic weight. On the ingenious floating gardens of Tenochtitlan, farmers engineered rich soils that produced continuous harvests of exceptional quality and size. So valuable was this harvest that subject provinces paid thousands of baskets of ripe avocados annually as official tribute to the Aztec emperor. It was revered as sustained energy for warriors, a rich source of calories and healthy lipids in a world without domestic livestock or dairy. Because of its shape and paired growth on branches, the fruit was deeply tied to fertility rites, life force energy, and the sacred rhythm of agricultural renewal. Here, in the volcanic stone mortar known as the Molcajete, the world's first guacamole was born, a dish virtually unchanged over 5 centuries. At royal banquets, the avocado was served as a luxury delicacy reserved for priests, royalty, and high-ranking commanders of the imperial army. For centuries, this sacred relationship between the people and the green fruit remained undisturbed. But in 1519, sails appeared on the horizon. The Aztec Empire fell, its temples torn down. But the green tree of Mesoamerica survived, waiting to be recorded by the conquerors. Martín Fernández de Enciso was among the first Europeans to write of it in 1519, describing a fruit with a delicate texture resembling rich, creamy butter. To European explorers accustomed to hard, dry ship rations, finding a tree that produced natural, lipid-dense butter felt like discovering agrarian gold. Struggling with the indigenous pronunciation, the Spaniards adapted the word into āhuacatl, a name that would travel across the ports of the Old World. Spanish captains attempted to bring the delicate seeds back to Spain, but the trees proved notoriously picky about soil, climate, and temperature. The European mainland was too cold. The avocado refused to fruit in Spanish soil, protecting its secrets for another 2 centuries. Instead, the fruit spread sideways across the Caribbean, naturalizing in Jamaica, Cuba, and Hispaniola, becoming a daily food source for sailors and islanders. British sailors dubbed it the Avocado pear, or alligator pear, a crude reference to its bumpy crocodilian skin that would stick with the fruit for centuries. In 1833, the avocado officially set foot on mainland North America, imported to Florida by botanists who envisioned a vast domestic industry. But Florida was only the beginning. The fruit was about to travel west, to a state whose climate, soil, and speculative spirit would change its destiny forever. By the early 1900s, Southern California was undergoing an agricultural boom. Wealthy landowners scrambled to find exotic crops suited for the Mediterranean climate. In 1911, a young explorer named Carl Schmidt was hired by the West India Gardens of Altadena to search Mexico for the ultimate cold-resistant avocado strain. Out of thousands of samples tested, Schmidt cut a branch from a solitary tree in the high-altitude village of Atlixco. He tagged it simply as cutting number 15. 2 years later, tragedy struck. The winter of 1913 brought an Arctic freeze that destroyed nearly every experimental avocado orchard in Southern California. While almost every other strain withered and died, cutting number 15 survived intact. The growers named it Fuerte, the Spanish word for strong. The Fuerte strain became the gold standard. Farmers across the state bought cloned saplings by the thousands, launching California's first major commercial avocado boom. Fallbrook declared itself the avocado capital of the world. The Golden Coast was officially painted emerald green by a single Mexican cutting that refused to freeze. Yet the Fuerte had a hidden flaw. It was an alternate bearer, producing a massive crop one year and virtually nothing the next, creating unpredictable market panics. The industry was booming, but fragile. California needed a new champion, a strain that was tough, predictable, and indestructible. In the 1920s, the fruit had an identity crisis. Consumers rejected the name alligator pear, finding it unappetizing, bizarre, and confusing to cook with. In 1926, growers united to form the California Avocado Society, executing one of history's most sophisticated corporate rebrands. They banned the term alligator pear. They repositioned the fruit as an exclusive luxury item for high society, publishing ads in high-fashion magazines and placing it on luxury cruise ship menus. Meanwhile, in 1926, an amateur mail carrier named Rudolph Hass
bought a few cheap seeds to graft onto Fuerte rootstocks in his backyard. Hass considered cutting the stubborn tree down, but his children tasted its strange, dark, bumpy fruit and declared it far creamier than any Fuerte they had ever eaten. In 1935, Rudolph Hass patented his tree, the first patent ever granted for an avocado. Every single Hass avocado eaten on Earth today descends from that single backyard tree. The Hass possessed the ultimate commercial advantage, a thick, leathery skin that acted as natural body armor, allowing it to be shipped globally without bruising. Unlike the temperament of the Fuerte, the Hass tree was a reliable powerhouse, holding its ripe fruit on the branch for months and allowing year-round harvesting. By the 1970s, the dethroning was complete. The black-skinned mutant from a postman's backyard had conquered California, claiming over 80% of the market. To understand the global obsession, one must look at the fruit's unique molecular chemistry. It is a botanical marvel, a fruit that acts like a healthy fat. Packed with oleic acid, the same monounsaturated fat that makes olive oil famous, the avocado offers high-density energy without spiking blood sugar levels. Unlike most fruits, the avocado never ripens on the tree. It uses the branch as a storage vault, delaying its final softening until it is picked by human hands. Ounce for ounce, it contains more potassium than a banana, more fiber than most grains, and a complex array of antioxidants that preserve cellular health. Because its flavor profile is mild and nutty, it bridges the gap between savory and sweet, acting as a natural emulsifier in cuisines across the globe. Cold pressed into oil, it boasts one of the highest smoke points of any plant fat on Earth, making it as prized in high-heat culinary arts as it is in cosmetic luxury. In cosmetics, its deep penetrating lipids form natural moisture barriers, making it an essential ingredient in high-end skincare worldwide. Modern nutritional science confirmed what ancient Mesoamericans knew intuitively. Its combination of fat and fiber triggers long-lasting satiety hormones in the human brain. It is, by almost every metric, a botanical masterpiece, but fulfilling the world's endless appetite for it would demand an industrial war on supply chains. Every year, ahead of a single Sunday in February, over 100 million pounds of avocados move across the Mexican border to satisfy the Super Bowl guacamole craze. Michoacán, Mexico became the undisputed engine of the global market, the only place on Earth where avocado trees bloom and fruit 4 times a year. The opening of the U.S. market triggered a commercial gold rush. Land values in avocado-growing regions skyrocketed overnight, transforming rural mountain towns into agrarian powerhouses. But such immense wealth brought dark complications. As the fruit surpassed petroleum in regional value, criminal organizations sought to extort growers and control packing plants. The environmental toll grew steep. In Chile and Mexico, massive water consumption to sustain thirsty orchards strained local aquifers during severe drought cycles. To deliver a soft fruit across vast oceans without rotting requires an unbroken cold chain, a technological miracle of controlled atmosphere shipping containers. In China, Japan, and South Korea, rapid economic growth created a surging middle class that embraced the fruit as a premier healthy luxury, driving air freight demands sky high. Climate instability, frost, and drought make the avocado one of the most volatile commodities on the global market, turning harvests into high-stakes agrarian gambling. Facing environmental limits, a new generation of growers is deploying smart technology, solar drip irrigation, and regenerative soils to safeguard the future of green gold. In 2002, the original Hass mother tree in La Habra
finally died at the age of 76. But her genetic children live on by the hundreds of millions across every continent. In laboratories today, geneticists are sequencing the ancient avocado genome, uncovering stress-resistant traits buried deep within wild Mexican and Guatemalan varieties. What began as an evolutionary gamble for extinct giants has become the universal emblem of modern culinary wellness, resting on kitchen counters in every corner of the world. It survived the death of the megafauna. It survived the fall of empires, freezing ice storms, and thousand-mile ocean voyages across uncharted seas. Inside every single pit lies an unbroken genetic thread stretching back millions of years, a living archive of survival waiting for its chance to grow. Along the Golden Coast, where land meets sea, the avocado found a second home, a place that took an evolutionary orphan and crowned it agrarian royalty. It stands today as a testament to the strange, brilliant ways that human desire and botanical adaptability can forge a global empire out of a simple wild fruit. Nature designed it for a world that vanished long ago. Mankind carried it into the future, and as long as the earth turns, its story will continue to grow. This is the legacy of the emerald tear, the survivor's crown, born in ancient mud and carved forever into the story of the Golden Coast.